Joey Dunlop, the legend who never slowed down. On July 2, 2000, the town of Tallinn in Estonia prepared for a local road race, but this was no ordinary rider. It was Joey Dunlop, the king of the Isle of Man TT, with over 26 victories in decades of dominance. The 48-year-old Northern Irish rider was known for his humility as much as his courage. That day, the roads were wet from earlier rain, slick, uneven, and dangerous. Still, Joey lined up, his Honda roaring like thunder through the forested track. Midway through the race, as he approached a right-hand curve near the village of Tartu, his front tire lost traction on the soaked asphalt. The bike slid violently, throwing Joey into a tree at over 130 km per hour. The impact was instant, fatal head trauma. Locals found his lifeless body lying beside the wreckage, still wearing his iconic yellow helmet. His death sent shockwaves through the racing world. Joey had survived decades of near-death experiences on the world's most dangerous track only to die on a small country road, helping promote the sport he loved. Marco Simoncelli, the crash no one could forget. October 23, 2011, Sepang Circuit, Malaysia. The world was watching the MotoGP. Among the competitors was a 24-year-old Italian rising star, Marco Simoncelli, known for his wild hair and fearless racing. On lap 2, Simoncelli leaned into a corner, fighting to keep control as his rear tire lost grip. Normally, a rider slides away safely. But not this time. Marco's bike suddenly snapped upright, dragging him back into the middle of the track right into the path of two riders behind him. Colin Edwards and Valentino Rossi had no time to react. Both struck Simoncelli at full speed. His helmet was torn off on impact, a sight that horrified millions watching live. The race was immediately stopped. Medical teams rushed in, but the injuries were catastrophic. Marco Simoncelli was pronounced dead minutes later. He wasn't just a racer, he was the future of MotoGP. His death changed helmet safety standards and reminded the world that even modern technology can't stop tragedy at 180 miles per hour. Shoya Tomizawa, the rising star. Before Simoncelli, there was another young hero, Shoya Tomizawa. The Japanese Moto2 rider had just won the first ever race in his class. His smile, energy, and fighting spirit made him a fan favorite. But on September 5, 2010, at the San Marino Grand Prix, fate turned cruel. On lap 12, Tomizawa's bike lost balance at high speed. He hit the ground and in seconds, two riders behind him collided with his body at over 100 miles per hour. He was conscious when medics arrived but critically injured. As they lifted him into the ambulance, his body went limp. He was pronounced dead shortly after reaching the medical center. He was only 19. The MotoGP world mourned him like family, and the next year, Simoncelli's death would eerily echo his own. Daijiro Kato, the unforgiving wall. Suzuka Circuit, Japan. April 6, 2003. Local hero Daijiro Kato, the 2001 250 cubic centimeters world champion, started the MotoGP race strong. But in lap 3, approaching the 130er corner, one of the fastest in the world, his bike suddenly veered off the track and slammed into the wall at 200 km per hour. He was thrown violently across the gravel and came to rest motionless. Paramedics rushed in, and he was taken to the hospital in a coma. After 2 weeks of fighting for life, Daijiro Kato passed away. His death forced Suzuka to close for MotoGP racing permanently. A champion had paid the ultimate price for speed, and his crash became a symbol of Japan's lost racing son. William Dunlop, history repeats. 18 years after Joey Dunlop's death, tragedy struck again, this time, his nephew William. During practice for the Skerries 100 road race in Ireland, William lost control of his Yamaha on a fast straight. The front wheel lifted slightly before snapping sideways. His bike catapulted off the road, crashing violently into the hedges. William died instantly. His brother Michael, also a legendary racer, was devastated. The Dunlop family, who had given 4 lives to motorcycle racing, became a symbol of bravery, loss, and legacy. Jarno Saarinen, the domino disaster. Monza Circuit, Italy. May 20, 1973. The race had barely started when a pileup began near the first corner. Finnish rider Jarno Saarinen, known as the Flying Finn, was trapped in a deadly chain reaction of metal and fire. A crashed bike spilled fuel on the track. Saarinen hit it at full speed, his machine exploding into flames. He was thrown and struck by another rider, killing him instantly. Another racer, Renzo Pasolini, also died in the crash. The double fatality shocked the racing world and exposed the lack of track safety at the time: no barriers, no proper emergency response, no standards. That day changed everything. Cal Rayborn, the American tragedy. Just months later, American star Cal Rayborn raced in New Zealand. Known for his Harley-Davidson victories, he was a fearless racer with unmatched reflexes. But on December 29, 1973, during the Puco 250, his bike began leaking fuel. In the next lap, the engine ignited. Flames engulfed the motorcycle, and Rayborn lost control. He was thrown into a guardrail, suffering fatal burns before help arrived. He was only 33. The crash led to stricter fire safety standards for racing fuel systems. Craig Jones, The Night Race Horror. August 3, 2008. Brands Hatch Circuit, UK. British superbike racer Craig Jones was battling for second place when his rear tire suddenly lost traction at 180 km per hour. He was thrown off, and before he could move, another racer struck his head. Jones suffered massive brain injuries. Despite immediate medical response, he died that night in hospital. He was just 23. His mother said, "He died doing what he loved, but that doesn't make it hurt less." Norifumi Abe, A Road Death, Not a Race. October 7, 2007, Japan. Former MotoGP star Norifumi Abe was riding his Yamaha on a public road when a truck made a sudden U-turn. Abe had no time to react. His bike smashed into the side of the vehicle at high speed. He died instantly. Fans across Japan left flowers, helmets, and race posters in tribute. Abe wasn't just a racer, he was a national hero. His accident reminded fans that danger doesn't only live on the track. These stories aren't just about speed, they're about the price of passion. Every rider knew the risk. Every crash changed the rules. But what keeps them alive in memory is not how they died, it's how they lived, fearless, dedicated, and fast. If you'd like to see more real-life stories like this of bravery, tragedy, and unforgettable moments, make sure to subscribe and let me know in the comments what story you want next.